fine is a slap on the wrist.
Yeah,
but there's your point. Good point. They're making multi-millions of dollars, the Dallas Cowboys, if they win and go on in playoffs and whatnot. So now, say this is the man, the one we're talking about, that can carry them to another playoff round, another Super Bowl. That means $30 or $40 million to the Dallas Cowboys. Are you just going to say, sorry, Brian, you're off the team, even though you're going to make me $40 million?
Absolutely. I would say
Do you
that
want
in
him
a
dead or
heartbeat.
alive?
I would say that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
For sure. Because one bad apple will spoil the bunch.
Yeah.
And it's worth it to get rid of one guy than to get rid of 40 guys.
Well, I think the Boston Bruins have to be commended for at least attempting to play the kind of role that all of you are talking about. But the question is their reaction appropriate? Steve Chason, fine player for Carolina, passed away shortly after his team was knocked out of the playoffs. It was revealed, as we basically knew, that he had been drinking. He had a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit. In response to that, the Boston Bruins have banned all drinking from their chartered flights. And we talked about this on this show last week. Is that an appropriate response, given the fact that we're talking about adults here?
You shouldn't ban them from
That has
drinking.
nothing to do with what happened. I don't believe, anyways. You're drinking on a plane. How is that related to?
Let me give you a quick
having
scenario, and I've been in this before. I've been a head coach for a long time. They have just fought a hard physical series, as Brian will tell you, or you've done a gig where you've been on the road for 2 weeks. You're whipped, you're beat. You just get knocked out, you're feeling lower than whale, you know what? You get back on your own charter plane, you're flying back, there's beer in your charter plane, the guys are all having a beer, 2 or 3 beers, drowning your sorrows. You get off the plane, you go to another party, to another house, you have a few more beer and a few more beer, and suddenly somebody ends up dead. It's a shame, it's a crime, and I'm going to tell you, very honestly, there but for the grace of God, go a lot of people out there it could have happened to. So with Pat Burns doing it, you know what? It's been done before. Pat Burns is not the first coach in the world to step up and say, hey, there's no alcohol on our planes. Freddie Shero did it years and years ago when Freddie was coaching us. He banned alcohol on our flights and banned it on our buses and whatnot for whatever reason. But again, it goes back to the same thing, Michael. You are in charge of you, and only you can do it.
Let me ask you this, and we have to go to commercial in a second, but when Fred Shero did it, you lived it, right? You experienced it. The question I have for you is, would that kind of attitude that Fred Shero had reduce the incidence of people drinking and driving on a hockey team? Did it work?
Yeah, because when Freddie said it, then Bobby Clark said it, then Terry Crisp said it, and everybody backed it up, and everybody agreed that that's the way it had to be. So Pat Burns saying it is fine. He can fine them for doing it, but the players have got to police themselves. Yeah.
All right, on that note, we will take a break, and we'll remind you that there's more to come here on Off the Record. When we return, it looks like tonight we can expect Cujo to be taking some lumps. Should the team be ready for action or maybe launch a preemptive strike? OTR, not NATO, returns in a minute. Right now? Yeah, go.
Off the Record with Michael Landsberg is brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
We each have that one thing that we do very well. And maybe it's pride, maybe it's showing off a bit, but we really like to do that thing to the best of our ability. At Quality Care, that thing we do is Ford. We use genuine Ford parts, and our technicians have probably forgotten more than the rest of the world will ever know about cars and trucks. Quality Care at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer. Nobody knows your Ford like we know your Ford.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fido proudly presents Fido Pro. The perfect portable office, including call display, our new voice messaging service
with instant reply,
and Fido email that lets you receive your messages wherever you are. Subscribe to Fido service before June 8th and you'll get Fido Pro free for 3 months. 3 months free, and that's for real.
Watch closely, folks. This is incredible. It looks pretty ordinary, right? But it's actually amazing, because this tire is flat. That's right, look, it was punctured and lost all air pressure. It's the new Goodyear Aqua Steel Run Flat. If it weren't, this is what could have happened. Instead, it can drive you up to 80 kilometers and 85 kilometers per hour to safety. New Aqua Steel, only from Goodyear. Isn't that amazing?
Leafs Penguins series resumes tonight. The Pittsburgh Penguins said that they were beaten by Curtis Joseph and the official on Sunday night. They are saying that they're going to have to make it tough for Curtis Joseph, and if you look at what they're saying, basically, they're saying, we're going to get in his crease, we're going to whack him around a little bit, like the Philadelphia Flyers did to him in round number 1. Anybody got a problem with that?
Yeah. Where are the Philadelphia Flyers? They're on the sideline. Plus, they got the blue crease rule now, where if you put one toe in it, you're dead. But you know what they got to do, and they're saying? They got to get traffic in front of them. They got to screen them. You all know in sports and whatnot that hitting them's not the answer, but bugging them, driving them crazy with traffic.
No, I don't buy it.
And who's going?
I don't buy it.
Okay, let me ask you then. Who on the Pittsburgh Penguins is going to run Cujo and pay the price? Who?
And isn't that what it comes down to, right? It's paying the price. Isn't that like people come on the show and they say, I don't understand fighting in hockey. I don't understand why you got guys like Ty Domi. Doesn't that sum it up right there? The other team has to have the fear that if they hit your goalie,
Exactly. You think that the Maple Leafs are going to allow the Penguins to run Curtis Joseph? Whatever you're smoking, you better pass it around.
all right, let's take this to the Boston-Buffalo series. And there was a hit that I want you to take a look at, which to me didn't look that bad. This was Alexei Zhitnik with a hit on Ray Bourque. A hit sort of from behind, sort of from the side. But I think of relevance here is a quote from Kyle McLaren, a teammate of Ray Bourque's. That hit was uncalled for. It was kind of from behind, and you just don't do that to guys like Ray. Why not?
I don't think there is such a thing as players like Ray, a player like this, a player like that. I think that if you're playing hockey, you got to get in there and you got to expect some bumps and bruises here. To me, there's no such thing as a protected player. You know, like, I mean, you get in there, you put your skates on, you put your equipment on, you're going on there, you know, 5 against 5, you're out there to beat someone, you know?
Yeah, it's part of the game. They should expect it. Whether it be Ray Bourque,
Yeah, right on.
From a nice young lady like you, it's part of the game?
it's part of the game. It is part of the
Let it
game.
go, Kate. I got strong feelings on this. I hate hits from behind. I don't care whether it's Raymond Bourque, Terry Chris, Brian, Kate,
God,
or even,
no.
Was that really from-
Michael run from behind would get me irate. Now, you tell me, Michael, you guys watched it. Forsberg run Shanahan. He should have been suspended for how long? McCarty run right behind that Lemieux in from behind. Should have been gone. There was one other one earlier when Dallas Drake run, was it Bodger or one of them?
Doug Bodger.
Brutal. You know what? I got no time of day for it. Sorry. As soon as you run a guy from behind, I wish you'd take 5 games
You
automatic.
missed the
Was that
point that
really
these
from
two said.
behind, though?
But also, let's get...
No, he was saying
What
that
is that?
whether it's Ray Bourque or whether it's...
Yeah, that's what he's
Terry
saying. It doesn't make
I
any
don't
difference.
care if it's Matt
No, hold on.
or Michael Landsberg.
Kyle
Run.
McLaren is... No, hold on. Kyle McLaren, listen to the quote, is saying you don't do it to guys like Ray. Should he get preferential treatment because he's 38 years old, because he's one of the best that's ever played the game?
He should get
No,
hit
he's
harder.
in there, he's getting paid. He should get hit harder.
He should get hit harder.
No,
Let the
you know
youngsters know, let them know that they listen. You know, they're in the game. We're here to play, and I don't care who you are, how old you are. You're gonna pay the price in it.
I like it.
To hit him.
I like what he's
You
saying.
know what? I don't care if you hit him, or if you hit Ray Bourque, or if you hit Shanahan or Forsberg.
You're saying
but
just don't hit
there
him from
should be a
behind.
time when you pay the piper
I think
for
we're
it.
getting back to professionalism again. You have to draw the line to what is appropriate on the ice and what is not appropriate on the ice. And I mean, to hit somebody from behind, I mean that's just stupidity. That's not being professional.
But isn't it true that the sport of hockey is rare in that it's the one sport you can't hit your stars? In the NFL, no one says, well, Barry Sanders took a real shot, we're going to pay him back. But in the NHL, the superstars are pampered and protected to the point where you can't treat them the same way as everyone else. Kyle McLaren came out and said that.
That is the biggest bag of horse manure I've ever
Kyle
heard
McLaren
you
said
spout
it.
on your show. Okay, let me give you a quick example. Listen to this one. I walk into your dressing room, and you guys are my players, and I say, okay, guys, 7th game of the playoffs, nobody touched Gretzky because he is a superstar out there, but we want to win this game, guys. Can you imagine a coach going into his dressing room and telling his players, don't hit another player or don't run another player?
I don't think it's
You know how
something
long
that's
your
being
job would
said,
last and how
though.
long they'd respect you?
It's not something that's being said. It's something that's just known. The players know this.
That's my job, to keep my